So, as you know, last episode of What If Compass Carburetor traveled the multiverse, so it's about improvements. This is about the few other improvements Compass Carburetor had. First of all, mind voids. Psych stars fusing with lore, which created mind voids. Compass Carburetor decided to do that again. Even mind voids are limited. They may be literally an infinite amount of psych stars. However, their energy is still limited to the amount of psych stars they were made out of. Plus, psych stars still do exist. And they still have a lot more numbers than mind voids. So after fusing lore with psych stars and mind voids, there came celestial spaces. Celestial spaces literally took up psych stars, mind void, practically everything. They held all of his abilities and data, so even if he were to somehow use all of these, which literally had an infinite amount of them inside of them, he still wouldn't become a collective consciousness. That it also helped him keep control and make sure that beings like Zara didn't come back. I say this because the second a system comes into existence, Zara's coming back too. Of course, she would be way weaker, but still pretty powerful to take down at least one general representative. Of course, it's excluding the fact that they would probably not be using the general representation, so she would still be pretty weak, but she would still come back. And assuming having that power at the beginning and comparing that to the original Zara, who had way weaker power at the beginning, damn. What are the general representations of Lord of Secrecy, Lord of Creation? I forgot their name. So their representation for the Lord of Secrecy is the one, the only Organization of Secrecy. Organization of Secrecy literally bundles up the power of the Darble Network and secret society as a whole to launch a massive, very powerful attack. The Lord of Creation's general representation is known as the one, the only creation of protagonists. Creation of protagonists is kind of like a differentiative, I have no idea how to say that, of lore of a main character's tale of a main character's lore, which created a singularity where everyone was a main character. Of course, the user could choose who. Plus, it would only last for a certain amount of time, so practically worthless. Basically, literally all this does is the same thing as Organization of Secrecy. Builds up the power of protagonists and launches it as a attack. Show. Yeah. Anyways, Compass Carburetor is currently flying in space. However, we're actually going to a few other POVs. First of all, Ajhar. Ajhar is trying to build up enough strength and he got a massive boost from the creation of celestial spaces. Since celestial spaces are practically very big stars, so he got a massive boost in power, and if cultivated or owned properly, I guess, he could definitely create his own special gender representation. After all, the only reason he ever had the infinite chaotic void was because of Lord helping him, and he would have to use a large margin of his power like the other Lord gender representatives using their gender representation. Of course, the Lord of Secrecy, Lord of Creation also had to do that, just far less though. So he was quite literally being carried by lore. Unlike the other gender representations used by the other representatives of lore. So he was currently trying to make his own in space, of course, and in the dreamland. The aggressor, on the other hand, was actually focusing on sword skills because his personal fragment is quite literally Enluku, a sword, and literally, other than its special ability of being the peak of Anema and transcending practically all sword abilities, and the fact that it can nullify any ability it touches, including core skills and power systems, heck, even quirks, which are basically biological advancements, and to create antagonists. Other than that, it's literally useless unless a person has sword skills. And currently, he's at night, facing a certain six-eyed person. Each of those eyes may or may not have had the symbol, well, Japanese kanji, of Upper Moon 1. This was, of course, Kokoshibo. However, believe it or not, he was getting obliterated. One single slash, and the aggressor cut off all of his arms. May have looked like a single slash, but it literally was. I mean, of course, all of the Lord General representatives shared the same abilities. So, of course, he has reality warping. And after that, the aggressor says, so much potential. Truck-kun. Literally, he called out Truck-kun and told him to reincarnate or transmigrate him into some random world, which he did, but instead, aggressor pulled him into the wheel of reincarnation and created a body for him, making him a technically natural-born protagonist and antagonist, the very first one of his kind. Along with that, the body can, of course, hold multiple core skills, be secret society member, protagonist, and antagonist, and multiple power systems. Basically, it was a far weaker version of Compass Carburetor's body, which he created himself. But he also focused quite a lot of his memories into Compass Carburetor, Kokoshibo, to raise a sword skill. After that, he decided to reincarnate Yorichi in the same way. But of course, they would both have to start as system players, and after that, he sent them into a random planet. With Darlac, of course, so secret society. After that, proceeded to obliterate Muzan, despite the other demon slayers. This was months after. So the demon slayers didn't have to fight Kokoshibo, but Kokoshibo was there. since no matter what, every system slayer has access to teleportation to different planets. So after teleporting to his original planet, he proceeded to help the demon slayers obliterate Yorichi. I'm sorry. Obliterate Muzan. Moon breathing. Easy, that's all it took. Tanjiro also learns unbeating method. After that, Compass Carburetor came to the scene and reincarnated them all as rebuilt their bodies. Secret Society protagonists, even though Tanjiro was a natural born protagonist, now he was a true protagonist. And antagonist as well. Of course, fate changed. Yeah. So, what were the other guys doing? Well, of course, N was focusing on Faith Grounds and its god beasts. Of course, he had to cultivate them more and more to raise his own power, which is why he was doing it in the very first place. Creating multiple races, however, also subtly increasing the humans to make it more fair, like Ryzen's world. Just so you know, Ryzen is now the gender representative of luck. Anyways. And now that you know what they're doing, what about the others? Well, quite literally every single one of them was cultivating their own gender representations, main character or / protagonist fragments, secret society, dimensional connection, or all of their abilities. So we can go back to Compass Carburetor now, who's floating above the planet. This was, of course, the world of I was reincarnated as a spider, so what? He was planning on going to Black Clover originally. However, he already had a very powerful magic system. Of course, the magic system of the Void Evolution System verse, which has a very powerful magic system. Also, just so you know, Aether, etc., were practically erased. Ki was left alone, but now all the elements are practically just mana. So, yeah, there's not really a point in going to Black Clover other than just going there. But of course, you would have to go there to make sure that he could make someone else a part of the anti-protagonist genre, which of course would be the antagonist system, or antagonist celestial, I don't know. But yeah, anyways. After floating into the world, the system tried to scan him. However, by using the grade 4 core skill, Sign Up, he easily deflected the laws of the universe. The world, which was trying to scan him. Basically, after recognizing this, the system of the world somehow thought he was an administrator, bugging him. After that, he just floated into the world, and you could see Spider versus a massive flipping Earth Dragon. Massive Earth Dragon. Also, just so you know, Atar is kind of like half space representative, half system representative, kind of. There, of course, can still be a system representative. There can. But anyways, after seeing this fight and Spider somehow motherfucking winning, he immediately teleported down and got the Spider with his own hands. After that, he used system administration to just create a new race. Also with a combination of the grade 4 core skill Sign Up, to give him more administration, lore, and telltale as well to create Soro, the Sorus. The Sorus. Sorus are kind of basically, yeah, they're just a race of very powerful spider humans. Have all of the abilities of a human, very much trained male, and the powers of a spider. Well, other spider that was given to. Along with that, there are a lot of skills and benefits to it, and you would have to eat way less. All of that automatic teaching to the human language, and you even have access to the secret society notifications, protagonists, antagonists, etc., etc. Sodus are a pretty overpowered race, basically. But that's actually going to be it for today. Yeah, probably don't say, oh, yeah, you do.